everybody. It's Kendell Lenice, the Remix Coach. All right, so I want to talk about healing. Healing being essential to live your best life possible. Before I get started, do me a favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow my channel, y'all. I'm trying to get to at least 1,000 followers so I can go live right from YouTube. All right. Kendell Lenice, the Remix Coach. Did I say that? If I didn't, pardon moi. All right, so I want to talk about healing. Y'all know, as a life coach, and I'm on this journey of healing and helping others heal. And a lot of issues come from being unhealed. Now, I'm talking about inner healing, not a scab on your arm and now it heals and you don't need any ointment or a Band-Aid and you can't see it anymore. I'm not talking about the scars that you can see. I'm talking about scars that a lot of folks have internally. We all have them. We all have things that we need to heal from. And if you say, no, that's not true, it is true. Something you need to heal from. Even when you think you have it all together. I don't even want to touch on Will Smith because I do support Will Smith. I don't condone violence, but I do support him in his healing journey. If you've read his book, I've read it 3 times. If you've read his book, you know that he suffered trauma when he was younger and throughout. And he's just one example of when you think that you've healed and you realize that you haven't been healed. Everybody has something that they're going through, or they just came out of, or they're going to need to heal from. That's what life is about. And anytime you are, let me just talk about this, because I told somebody this quite a few times about dating. You don't want to date anyone who hasn't done work on themselves as far as counseling, therapy, coaching. You have to be able to have a conversation with someone who has tried to heal themselves in some kind of way. If you talk to someone and they say, I'm good, I don't need to heal from nothing. My life has been perfect. There's nothing that I've needed to heal from. Watch out. That means they haven't healed yet. That means they haven't even acknowledged that they need to heal. And somewhere down the line, that's what they're going to need to do. If you're dealing with friends, same thing. You want to be able to deal with yourself first and deal with others who are on that same type of journey. Now, there are a lot of things and a lot of levels of healing, right? There are some levels of healing that goes really, really, really deep. And there are some where some may not think they're deep. Say, for instance, we can talk about death. Everybody has lost someone. Have you fully healed from that? Will you ever heal from that? Have you learned coping mechanisms and ways that you can handle that grief? Because grief is something. For my degree, I interned at a grief and loss center, and honey, that thing right there, seeing people go through grief, you talking about emotionally and mentally taxing and jarring. Man, oh man, going there each day, each week during my internship, watching people grieve and how they grieve. Sometimes that runs super deep and it's definitely hard to heal from. Even if you lose someone that's not dead yet, whether it's a friendship or a marriage or family members, you just don't speak anymore, whatever it is, that takes time to heal. You gotta heal from that. Or if you've lost a job that meant a lot to you, that's room for healing. or if you have childhood trauma that you haven't healed from, or that you didn't even know existed, because life has a way of showing you things that you didn't know existed. And you're like, wait a minute, I need to heal from that. Oh, that's what's going on with that person. They haven't healed from that. That's everybody. I can go on and on and on of ways that people need healing. Even if you had a toxic mother or father, even if you were a sibling that was left out or mistreated, even if you had just a lot of different things. And I can be here all day, and I don't want to make this video uber long, but I could be here all day talking about ways to heal. But it's so important that you tackle those things. All the beauty on the outside, all the fineness on the outside is fine. But if you don't have substance and you don't have healing, then that doesn't matter. It doesn't amount to a can of beans when it comes to that. Because you want to be healthy and whole, and emotionally healthy and whole also. Just like you want to be physically whole and healthy, summer's coming around and you want to be fit and fine, and you're worrying about the outside, you also want to take a look at the inside to see if your mother leaving you did really affect you, fellas or ladies. But let me talk to the fellas. If your mother wasn't there to raise you, you don't know how that affects your relationships or your relationships with other women in your life. Daddyless girls, you don't know how your father not being there, because not me being there doesn't mean that you didn't have a father. Some people's fathers work 100 hours a week, 80 hours a week. They never seen them. They just bring home the bacon. They never had a solid relationship. And sometimes that plays out in your relationships, and vice versa. Fellas that didn't have a dad, or ladies that didn't have a mom, you don't know how that plays out. You can always say that you're good until you're not, until something happens and you have some type of emotional break. People, and I don't want to keep circling back to Will Smith, but I'm thinking about his book and thinking about some of the things that he's gone through and how he's held a lot in. And again, I'm not condoning him doing, slapping Chris Rock because he hasn't healed. That's not what I'm saying. I'm using it as an example to say, when you hold a lot in, or you're trying to be perfect, or you're trying to be put together, or you're trying to be right, eventually the top is going to come off, and you don't know, what to do. And I think that's really what happened with him. My prayers are with both, because Chris Rock didn't deserve to be hit, even though the joke wasn't nice, but no one deserves that, right? So, and I'm going to get off of that, but your places of healing show up. So when people come into your life, sometimes people come into your life to help you heal, to help you grow, to help you see things. They're meant to stay for a lifetime or just a moment to help you. And that's what God does. He puts people on your journey to help you heal or grow or learn or listen. And you have to be an astute student to life and the people that come into your life. It's so important because we all are here together. And if we had more love and not judgment, we would be able to help each other heal. We all need to heal. The most enlightened people, the most educated people, the people that you think have it all together, the people that you don't think have it together, everybody is in this together. Just because you're on social media and you see people and they look like they have it all together, or you see that group of girlfriends or the guy friends or the couple, and you're like, wow, they probably have a charmed life. You never know the private conversations they have with the people that they love and they're close to, or if they're crying themselves to sleep, or they can't get out of bed one day, or something hits them like a ton of bricks. You don't know what happens with people. So don't think that you're alone in your grief and your healing journey, because you're not. And since COVID started, and so many people lost so many people to COVID and then some. A lot of people lost their hope during COVID. A lot of people discovered the loneliness and being alone, because of course we know there's a difference. You can be alone and not be lonely, or you can be in a room full of people and be extremely lonely, or you can just be lonely and you have people to call or connect to, but you feel the loneliness. And a lot of people were going through that during COVID, and the numbers for people seeking help skyrocketed. People were calling therapists and counselors and coaches left and right, because people are not ashamed anymore. People want to be healed. People want to grow. People want to be better people. And the numbers show that. If you look at a lot of these, listen to podcasts or listen to YouTube or different things, there's always an interjection with a counseling or therapy company, and I'm not going to name their name. They're on everybody's because they know their ad is running everywhere, because they know people need help. And I'm so glad that it's not taboo for people to say, you know what, I need somebody to talk to. I don't like the way this is going. I want to change this. Oh, you're telling me that I need to heal. Oh, I think by what you're saying is showing me that I need to heal. And I always say honesty helps heal. Just acknowledging to yourself. You don't have to, it's not about anybody else. You don't have to acknowledge it to someone else. You don't have to tell everybody what you're going through. But you do have to acknowledge it to yourself and say, okay, God, how can I be better? What can I do to heal and to grow? And even with some of my life coaching clients, like, I'm so proud of them. I'm proud that they sought after me for coaching, but then they also see a therapist. I can see progress. I love, even with me on my healing journey, different things you don't know. I've suffered a lot of trauma over the last 3 years, and I'm like, geez, I need to heal from a lot of different things, over even just the last 3 years. Or then you start looking back, and you got to take an assessment of your life and say, wow, I kept going. I didn't stop to heal. I just kept moving. I mean, I at 19 years old, at 17 years old, she was 19. I lost my cousin suddenly, and she was like my sister. I was 17 and she was 19, and we were super, super tight. And it was trauma. It was traumatic for me when I was 17, and nobody understood. Everybody knew the grief and loss, but nobody really understood the effects. Not even me, until I started repeating stuff like, I had anxiety. I never thought I was going to make it to 19 because she died at 19. That's trauma. Then when my little sister, I was praying that she made it to 19. Then when my oldest daughter, I was like, oh God, please let her make it to 19. Then my youngest daughter, I'm like, please let her make it to 19. Like, that's trauma. That's real. And I remember someone saying, really, you felt that way? Yes, because I mean, I mentioned it before, but I didn't make announcements. Like, certain things like that are traumatic. When you're young, and if you don't address those things, then you think about, could this be abandonment? Could this be, because sometimes when people die, people think that they're abandoned. And then you go through different areas in your life, like, did I process this right? And I can use a lot of different examples, even over my life. And I'm like, really? Because I am a smiley person. I'm a happy person. I just get through. You don't even know that you need to heal from some things. You just keep going and going and going. If you have, loss in any kind of way. I was grieving over a friendship that I lost years ago, and I never knew why. Some people grow apart, but then you have attachments, and like, hey, what happened? I mean, different things. You might think, so simple, but it's a lot of different things that that people are going through. You know, even when I worked as an intern for the Grief and Loss Center in Baltimore, Maryland, there was a section, it was different. It was like homicides, suicides, birth, like deaths. It was different categories because you lose loss of a mother or father. And I was working with a group of women who lost their children, whether they had miscarriages, they went full term, the kids died of SIDS, whatever it was. And looking at those women, and it's like people would say to them, well, at least you had another child. Like, that's not consolation. You know, people still hurt. Oh, well, the baby didn't reach full term. Like, what? Oh, at least you were 2 months pregnant or 3. What? People say those things to people. And I don't think that they're trying to be insensitive. I just think that they don't understand or they don't know. Like, it's very interesting when it comes to healing and how people deal with certain things, whether it's grief and loss, whether it's the loss. Some people can need to heal from maybe a loss of a job because they might have a rejection or abandonment, even issues from that. Or that might have been their work family, might have been the only family they had. And where some people might say that was just a job. That could have been someone's family. That could have given that person the reason to get up every day because they were depressed. You never know the slightest thing that you need to heal from. So I'm on a journey. I want to open up a center called Be Healed, BEE. I love B's. B stand for personal power. It stands for community. And it stands for connection and working together in brightness. That's what B stand for. You can look it up yourself. So a lot of things that I have B's on it. And I want to open up a center called Be Healed and help people through coaching me, but then I also want to have, you know, maybe a therapist there. I'm a meditation practitioner, we'll have that. I want to have different things that help people heal from the inside out. And it's so important, and this really is my life's work because I see a lot of people's behaviors or sadnesses or fakeness or a lot of different things I see. I'm an observer of people, and not just as a coach, but just I watch people. And that's why I extend a lot of grace to people when I see certain things. I'm be like, they're hurt on the inside. No, it doesn't excuse the behavior, but they're hurt. I can see it on the inside. And some people don't even know it until somebody even cares to ask or to address it. So we have to stop thinking healing is about a big T, big traumas and little traumas. Yes, people have been sexually assaulted. People have been dealing with a lot of what people call huge traumas. And people always know, yeah, people need to heal from that. But there are also little T's, the little traumas that you may not even recognize as traumas that people need to heal from. And that's what I want to help do. So I just wanted to take a moment to talk about healing in this video to push this conversation forward. If you would like to leave a comment, talk about healing, something that you had to heal from, or something that you didn't know was maybe a broken piece inside of you that you sought after help, or you want to do that. Let's have an open dialogue to show that it's okay to talk about things like this. It's okay to be vulnerable to do that, because that's how you get help. It doesn't make you crazy. It doesn't make you weird. It doesn't make you emotionally whatever. It makes you an honest, real person. And that's how we can get to the real you, because there's so many superficial people on social media, and they're playing an act or playing a character because they don't know how to be themselves. And this character that they create is protected, and it's better. It protects the real person, the person that's dealing with the hurt and the pain and the anxiety and the depression and the traumas. That this new person that they create protects that other person. And we have to get to a point where it's okay to cry. It's okay to open up. It's okay to just be a person that wants to be better, right? Who don't want to be better? Hopefully everybody does. So I just wanted to take a moment to talk about that. This channel is about education, elevation, and entertainment. You'll see everything on this channel, from my vlogs, from my reviews and news show, the weekly voice where I unpack the week, my show More Than Just a Movie, where my co-host and I break down classic Black films. You'll hear me on here talking about God. This is a full channel. This is Kendell Lenice Productions, KL Media. You'll hear a lot. Just like if you turn on television, you get different programming. That's what you get, because as people, we are not just one thing, right? We're a multitude of things. We're layered. So this channel is all about education, elevation, and entertainment. Child, I'll have you laughing, I'll have you crying, I'll have you thinking, I'll have you healing, and that's what I'm about. So make sure you subscribe to this channel right now. Tell your friends and family, and why don't you go on over and send this to somebody who needs to heal, right? Who needs to heal, or who needs to get permission to heal. I'm giving you permission right now. You are worth it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. This is Kendell Lenice. Remember, you are a star, so don't allow anyone to dim your shine. Until next time, God bless. Peace.